Hello, it's Monday morning, it's just gone 7 o'clock, which means it's time for the Birmingham News Review. Now I'm here with you until 8 with a look back at the week just gone and a look forward to what's to come across Birmingham and the West Midlands. We'll be kicking off with our look back across the week at some of the things which have been making the news across our area. Jason will be here with another interesting guest in the Milk Bar, and I'll be seeing what's up on this week's community notice board. Good old Norma Barton will return to tell us what's so special about this month, plus Des and Sasha will take a look at what's on this week too. Owen will be taking another look at a very special part of our area. It's Bar Beacon. So it's a busy hour ahead right here on the Birmingham News Review. So then let's see what's been making the news this week. The annual Lord Mayor's Show took place recently and it celebrated the handing over of the role to a new incumbent. Councillor Anne Underwood has taken over from Councillor Carl Rice.
With the recent mayoral and general elections, there's a sense of a new era in the region, that coupled by the changeover of Birmingham's Lord Mayor, something that was celebrated on Sunday with the Lord Mayor's Show. Councillor Underwood has held the prestigious title for a matter of weeks and feels as though she is settling into her new role.
It's incredibly educational, mostly extremely enjoyable, and sometimes very, very sad. Having to do 2 one-minute silences in the first 2 weeks has just been so devastating. But this is Birmingham, we carry on, we do our events as planned, regardless. It's just so nice that people still respect the role of the Lord Mayor in Birmingham, and it's an opportunity for me to say thank you to them for coming out, having my photo taken with so many lovely children.
The event held at Cannon Hill Park saw hundreds turn out in the sun for a day of activities and food. There was also an educational element, with St John's Ambulance offering people, in particular children, the opportunity to learn first aid and CPR.
You never know what might happen, and St John Ambulance have a very keen focus on making sure that everybody who needs it gets first aid at the point, and by that we want to create a nation of lifesavers by doing things like this and teaching members of the public the skills that they need.
Getting fit and active has been a priority for the City Council, so it was no surprise to see Park Lives at the event, encouraging all ages to strut their stuff.
We have got, a big issue across the country, and I think part of that is people don't necessarily feel comfortable going into your local gyms or getting involved in, and there are other boundaries in terms of financial, people can't afford to really, and if you can just encourage people to come out into the parks and then take part in these activities, we've hit everything there, haven't we?
Whatever the next 12 months will bring, one thing that is for sure is that the new Lord Mayor is determined to enjoy the ride. Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
Students at Birmingham City University have devised a musical called Do You See What I See?, all about body image. We caught up with one of the actors.
We've all worked together to create the whole show using personal experience, and we've done interviews with people of different ages to get their experiences of what they felt maybe when they were younger or the age they are now. It's such a massive topic. There is so many people being affected by this. There's rising teenage depression and stuff because of all of these issues. We've all talked about our experiences, so we know that we've all been through similar things. So we hope that comes through in the actual show. So when I was younger, I used to hate wearing my glasses. I used to hate having short hair, I always wanted it to grow. So I've kind of drawn on my own personal experiences for my character. It can be very naturalistic in places, and we've drawn on lots of different topics. So we've talked about stories, we've spoken about social media, magazines, and all of those sorts of influences we have on how we view ourselves. It's there to make people think and to start young people opening up to their parents or their friends or anyone around them just about how they're feeling. It's just opening a conversation, hoping people to realise they're not the only ones. Everyone feels down at some point about how they look.
A charity that provides eye tests and glasses to homeless people in Birmingham has been given a spectacular spectacle boost after receiving a grant to extend its work. It's said that homeless people suffer a higher level of eye problems than the general population, yet many don't get the eye care that they need. Our reporter Norma Barton went to the charity's home in Digbeth to have a look at their work.
a Digbeth-based charity that provides eye tests and glasses to homeless people in Birmingham, can support an extra 25 vulnerable people after receiving a grant of £1,000 from the Birmingham-based Wisdom Social Enterprise.
Vision Care for Homeless People is a charity that does eye tests for homeless and vulnerable people in a sort of safe, friendly environment. People who are homeless and vulnerable find it hard to go into high street opticians, so we're here to give them eye tests and help them with glasses. If they break the glasses, we can provide new ones. They tend to have more problems than the average person as well, so it's really important that we can persuade them to have their eyes tested on a regular basis.
In England each year, there is need for 20,000 homeless people to have their eyes tested. VCHP currently meets 9% of that need, but aims to reach 40% in 5 years. Over the last year, the Birmingham Clinic treated 157 patients, and that number will increase thanks to the grant.
Well, the Wisdom Factory have given us a grant for £1,000, and it means that we'll be able to employ locum optometrists to help come into the centre every Monday to do the eye tests for people. So we're really grateful for this funding, and it'll help us to continue the service.
And with the increase in homelessness, there is bound to be more focus on the role of charity support groups like these in the future. Norma Barton, Birmingham News.
Now, last Sunday was the annual Open Farm Day, where farms across the country opened their gates and allowed visitors to see just what it is that they do. The hope is that it will encourage more young people to visit farms and think about pursuing agricultural careers. We went to Forge Mill Farm in West Bromwich.
We're over the moon. It's been really busy today. It's really great to have the kids out here having a look at agriculture and all the different things that we do in a day. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities. There's lots of careers now available in agriculture, and it gives these guys a chance to see some of those careers in action and all the different things that go on farm. We have farmers, agronomists who look after crops in the ground. Our farmers cover lots of different things. They could be growing crops, they could be looking after livestock, they could be milking dairy cows. So we're promoting all that here today. The milk that goes onto your cornflakes, the food that we eat every day, all comes from agriculture. Because we're nationally advertised on the Open Farm Sunday website, we find that we get a lot more visitors that wouldn't normally visit a farm, which is great. I would hope that they would like to come back again and enjoy some of the countryside that's around here. There's some lovely walks, and we have a lovely farm trail, it's a play area for the children. So we hope that we'll interest a new type of visitor.
A group of lottery winners have come together to build a 40-metre path in the National Memorial Arboretum, helping visitors reach memorials to fallen heroes. Matthew Croucher, originally from Solihull, fought in Afghanistan and was awarded the George Cross after risking his life to save his comrades. Olivia Marks went to meet him and the lottery winners.
A bit of digging, shovelling and hands-on solid teamwork at the National Memorial Arboretum in Burton-on-Trent. A team of National Lottery winners have come together to help build this walkway, linking memorials for fallen heroes.
This place itself, it's a very moving place, and what we're doing today is going to help people be able to walk through. The disabled can trot along the path as well.
We know friends who have had losses like that, and it's nice to help out.
There to help was war hero Matthew Croucher. He was awarded the George Cross after risking his life to safeguard his comrades in Afghanistan back in 2008, throwing himself on a tripwire grenade using his rucksack for protection.
From serving in the Royal Marines and having 3 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, I've had friends and colleagues unfortunately killed, so the National Memorial is great to come see their names engraved into the wall itself in the centre of the Arboretum, and reflect on old times. It's great having any volunteers that come down to the National Memorial, let alone those that have won several million.
Another hero is Ken Wedgworth. He was in the British Army for 35 years and is also a lottery winner.
I've volunteered here for 6 years and still volunteer here, and it's just one big happy family, the permanent staff, the volunteers, everything like that, and it's a marvellous place. And also it's got a poignant reminder to me of a very good friend who fell in the Falklands War. He's remembered here, and I often just pop up and remind myself of his friendship that I had in the 70s before he was killed in action.
1, 2, 3, go.
Now a new walkway built in just 48 hours, paving the way to remember the heroes who lost their lives for others. Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
Time for a break now, but don't go anywhere as the Birmingham News Review continues when we come back. Welcome back to the Birmingham News Review. A little later we'll take a look at the community notice board, plus we'll see what's been happening in the world of sport. First though, a Birmingham war veteran has celebrated his 100th birthday. John Smith from Aston served in the Army and Navy and fought for his country during the Second World War, and he's still going strong. Aaron Wiggins went to meet him.
To reach the age of 100 is remarkable in itself, but the fact that John Smith is so mobile makes it extra special. Born in 1917, John joined the British Army before his 18th birthday and went on to fight in the Second World War, where he was badly wounded and required a metal plate in his chest. Decades on, and he's here to tell the tale, as those who know him best describe John the man.
And you wouldn't get anyone better, really. You know, he's very straight-laced. You know, he'd tell you how it was. You know, if he was up to no good, he'd tell you about it.
He's played in a dance band for 38 years. He played the saxophone himself and thoroughly enjoyed it. He always had 2 jobs, never out of work. Always worked 2 jobs. Day job, and in the night, evenings, 2 or 3 nights a week, played the saxophone in the dance bands. And sociably, he's a very wonderful man.
John served in the Royal Warwickshire Regiment before going on to work as a policeman, traffic warden and a fireman. So how does the man of the hour feel?
I'm a bit more worn out now, you know. I can't run around like I did. I feel tired a lot, and I live alone, you know. And wife passed away, no family except Steve and a few relatives like that. But I suppose I've got to expect myself lucky because I went all through the Second World War, you know. I said, but I suppose I've got to think myself lucky I'm still walking about anyway.
Aaron Wiggins, Birmingham News.
The Lapworth Museum of Geology has been shortlisted for the Art Fund Museum of the Year 2017. Olivia Marks has more.
From fossils, volcanic rocks to even dinosaur bones, the University of Birmingham's Lapworth Museum is one of the leading geological museums in the country. Last year, it underwent a £2.7 million redevelopment and has since doubled visitor numbers. Now, it's in for the chance of receiving a global prestigious prize. And if they win on the 5th of July, they'll receive £100,000.
It's the biggest museum prize anywhere in the world, and certainly the biggest prize in arts terms in the UK. A group of judges wades through all the applications. Each applicant makes a little film, and then we draw up a shortlist of 5 museums, and then we make our way round the museums, each of the 5 museums, as a group of judges, discuss them intensively, analyse them, compare them.
Judging's now underway, and they seem impressed.
Just quite a diverse array of things to feast your eyes on and so much to take in. So a lot of it very educational. I feel like I've learned a lot being here today.
So it's a very beautiful museum, great didactics, fantastic introduction to geology, I think, with wonderful objects to marvel at.
The museum dates back to 1880 and has helped bring 250,000 specimens to life.
So, I mean, we're a small museum, so we're already, it's an enormous, it's already creating an enormous difference just being on the shortlist. We're already seeing the kind of the benefit in terms of the publicity and having many more visitors than we had before. But this is going to, if we were to win, this would obviously make a huge difference to the future of the museum. Birmingham has faced challenges in recent years in terms of funding for museums and the cultural sector, and I think this is actually what's happening here is a very positive story for Birmingham and the West Midlands.
Olivia Marks, Birmingham News.
Right, let's make our regular call to the Milk Bar now with Jason Forrest. Nick J. Townsend of local band Week 13 has found himself immortalised in a horror novel penned by American author Edward Gellert. Stourbridge-based Nick chats with Jason about his imaginary life after the rapture.
Nick Townsend from Week 13 has found himself in a book. To tell us more about it, he's with me now and he'll explain a bit more about what Edward Gellert's been up to over in the US. Hi Nick, how you doing?
Pleased to meet you. Edward Gellert, I met via my agent Debbie Stewart. She networks with a lot of people in Los Angeles, and we met on I was filming in Los Angeles with my agent. She got me connected, like networking wise, with this author. And he specialises in horror. At the time, I was just really interested in his first book, Dark Harvest. It was a really good horror. It was set in during the Rapture. Mm-hmm. So the Rapture has happened, and all the characters have to kind of they're kind of working out, is this a Rapture, or is this geoengineering, or is this something else? So there's clues in the book. It's really well written. I was absolutely a big fan of it. So I kind of told him I liked his book. Yeah. And I think about 12 months later, he said to me, wouldn't it be funny if your band was in the States during the Rapture? When that happened, I kind of think you'd handle it really well. I just kind of laughed it off, on Facebook. I said, yeah, I'd probably do this and this. And it was just a kind of to and fro in, nothing really going with the idea. I mean, he turned around, he said, I can't want you in the book. And I was trying to work out how that would work. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, we haven't had an apocalypse yet, so how would I be in your book? Yeah. And he said, well, what if you were you after the apocalypse in my universe? So
an apocalypse can affect your downloads as a band, can't it, really? If there's not so many people around with their iPhones.
Way, maybe in a positive way, because the apocalypse is really popular now, I guess. But,
so they're all on vinyl after the apocalypse?
I imagine it's all analogue.
Yeah.
But, in the book, there's no mention of iPhones. So I don't know how that even works, but I'm not really playing gigs during the apocalypse. I'm trying to survive killing demons, and with a series of characters, really well-written characters. There's a French chap, there's all sorts of different people, all together for different reasons in Missouri. And I've kind of entered an already established group of characters. Mm-hmm. So I've been introduced into the series. They've got their kind of hesitations about trusting me or not, and then we develop trust. I don't want to give too much away, but I kill a lot of people. And demons.
Obviously demons. Demons are okay. But is it weird reading about yourself with these exploits? Is that just a wholly odd experience?
Well, it is weird. And these are horrible creatures I'm killing. And the way it works is because I wasn't expecting this. When he approached me and he said, I like you in the book, he knew me a little bit, but he had to watch a lot of interviews, see how I talk, how I react to certain words I'd use, mannerisms. And at first, when he gave me some chapters to work with, just so he could work out if the character was developing more to sound like me. And at first, I did pick up on a few things. I said, well, I wouldn't talk like that. That sounds a bit like kind of London Cockney. But the book is horror. It's really well written. I like the style of writing. And because this is me being in this book, I wouldn't have trusted any old person to have done this. Edward is a fantastic writer. He does his research. He really spent a lot of time making sure I was happy. Mm-hmm. I didn't have anything to do with the plot. I might have suggested a few things, but it's down to him how this character runs in the book. I was expecting a small appearance. He became a main character. So when I found that I was a main character, that was a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, because I thought, what if nobody likes this character? And apparently he's really popular. I'm really popular apparently in the apocalypse.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you're going to find your place anywhere, an apocalypse is a good place to do it.
Yeah, there's less critics in the apocalypse. And
is it worthwhile reading the first in the series and then progressing on to the second one? So
I would,
yeah.
But some people might just want to see me. But I would say
that's understandable.
I read both books, and there's going to be a third one and possibly more after that.
Now, do you know whether you feature in the third yet, or again, can't we talk about that?
I know if I do or don't.
Okay. Again, an unusual experience. And how did the rest of the band feel about this?
Well, I think they were just a little bit. I think they thought. I told them about this about a year ago, and I think they probably just thought, oh, it's probably just a name of the book. You know, probably mentioned it. I don't think they're expecting whole chunks of storyline and me running through Missouri with axes and hammers and saving or being saved by different characters in the books, and their names are mentioned in the book as well, because I will talk about my band. I think one thing I'd say is realistically I would talk about my band. My partner was a little bit disappointed because she's kind of in the book, because I mentioned I want to get back to England and has everyone got a plane or something I can get over there. But because she wasn't mentioned by name, she was a little bit that close to getting mentioned. But my band members get in. And I always wear these gloves apparently. I'll tell you, I never actually used to wear gloves, but my character in the apocalypse does. So if anyone wonders why is Nick always wearing gloves all the time, it's because I've picked up that my character in the book kind of wears these gloves, so I thought, I'll start wearing gloves a bit more, and I actually realised they suit me. So
looking good. So as life imitates art and vice versa and back again, look out for Nick Townsend in a fantastic series of books, and who knows what's going to happen next. Well, Nick, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Jason, and of course we'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. But if that's not enough for you, then the Milk Bar is also on the radio and it's a podcast too. So just go to the bar, order up, www.themilkbarpodcast.com to find out more. Still to come, we'll be seeing what's up on this week's community notice board. Norman will take a look back in time at what's so special about this week, and we'll be profiling another artist and their work. Stay with us. So then, time for the community notice board. It's the news that you send to us. And of course, as always, if there's something that you reckon we could mention, do get in touch. But as always, give us plenty of notice and then we'll give you all the important details in a few minutes' time. Now, the City of Wolverhampton Council is set to make the first official step in designating the Worley and Essington Canal as a new local nature reserve, one of the so-called LNRs. Now, the move comes following consultation with the residents on the proposals by City of Wolverhampton Council, Walsall Metropolitan Borough Council and the Canal and River Trust, and they include plans to increase access and improve habitat alongside the canal. The scheme will cover the 6-kilometre Worley and Essington Canal corridor stretching from Wolverhampton city centre to the edge of Walsall and all the areas of open space alongside it. A collaboration agreement will then be made between the three partners, which includes a commitment to jointly manage the local nature reserve for wildlife, education and enjoyment purposes for at least 21 years. The LNR section in the City of Wolverhampton will also be declared as a site of importance for nature conservation, otherwise known as SINC, S-I-N-C. And it's in recognition of the high wildlife value of the site, which is a home for dragonflies, butterflies, water birds, coarse fish and rare aquatic plants. Now, LNRs are typically owned and managed by the local council, and this LNR is unique because as the majority is owned and managed by the Canal and River Trust, with areas of adjoining land owned and managed by the City of Wolverhampton Council and Walsall Metropolitan Borough Council. That's why all three are involved, and it's worth going to visit them as well. We do like that. Now, the name has been revealed for a new family-friendly pub restaurant on the Bilston Urban Village development, as well as a number of jobs it will create. The Bankfield Road venue is said to be called the White Rabbit, and it's a nod to the mining heritage of Bilston and the surrounding areas during the 18th century. Now, the name, which was chosen by Marstons, came from local accounts from the time stating that miners were said to be haunted by an evil spirit, causing great danger at the mines for workers. Now, the leader, who was deeply troubled by this, instigated a ceremony to ask for protection and guidance from the White Rabbit, which was a symbolic white witch figure who protected the miners and banished the evil spirit for good. Now, it'll create up to 45 new jobs, and the pub is expected to open in early October. It'll include a spacious garden area and designated car park for over 60 spaces. The pub will provide a new town centre destination, and it fits in with Bilston Urban Village's key objective to enhance Bilston as a place to live, work, invest and visit, supporting the quality and range of facilities available within the town. It's going to sit between the Burt Williams Leisure Centre and the Morrison's supermarket. Like the sound of that, the White Rabbit, yeah. Now, a bit of culture for you now. The Library of Birmingham is hosting the first UK exhibition by leading contemporary Czech artist Pavel Brazda. Now, Pavel Brazda is here organised by the Embassy of the Czech Republic, Birmingham City Council and the Icon Gallery. And the exhibition is on now until the 1st of July. It presents a selection of works from the artist's colourful human comedy cycle in celebration of a career which spans more than 7 decades. And you can find out more by having a look at www.libraryofbirmingham.com. Now, organisers of Tamworth's first ever yoga festival are bending over backwards. Get it? Yeah. They're bending over backwards to ensure that the event is a success. Holistic treatments, meditation and vegan food will also be on offer at the Yoga in the Park event, which will be held at the North Warwick Recreational Centre in Hermitage Hill in Polesworth on Sunday the 25th of June. Now, the day will be suitable for all the family, and it'll include a kids' corner where children can enjoy a yoga treasure hunt, garden games, kids yoga classes, a bouncy castle and plenty of ice cream. I think I'm sold on that. Anyway, yoga classes will be held throughout the day, and there'll also be meditation, Reiki, crystal healing and massage. A range of stalls will sell wellbeing related products such as organic food, jewellery and leisurewear. Hay bales will provide ideal resting places, with everyone invited to bring along a picnic. Musical entertainment will be from a folk band, and there'll be a bar in the clubhouse, and if the weather's rainy, all the activities will just take place in the clubhouse and marquee. So general admission is either a £5 or a £10 depending on your age, and that includes as many yoga classes as you like, and the important thing is that all the proceeds go to save the children. So it's taking place at North Warwickshire Cricket Club in Tamworth, Sunday the 25th of June, and you can get your ticket from skiddle.com by searching for Tamworth Yoga. So there you go, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board. And if you know about something that we could be telling people about, why don't you get in touch? But as always, give us at least a week's notice. You can email news@madeinbirmingham.tv. On social media, look us up, send us a message. We are at MadeInBhamTV, or just use the hashtag Birmingham News. And of course, as ever, we'll have more for you at the same time next week. Right, let's take a quirky but interesting trip back in time with everyone's favourite historian. I always say that, and it's true. It's Norma Barton.
By 1926, there were 47,000 licensed vehicles on the city's roads, and within 5 years, that figure had increased by another 10,000. So the City Council decided to deal with the problem of growing congestion. First with traffic islands, and then a traffic solving measure of June 1933, which was said to be far-reaching and permanent. It consisted of a one-way system in the city centre, which was an initial success. It was called a foolproof system, and a city officer said that anyone who gets confused can scarcely claim average intelligence. Well, except that almost immediately the council was advised that the one-way system would have a lifespan of only 5 years in view of the probable increase in traffic. And you don't need average intelligence to know that they were correct in making that assumption.
In sport, we're all set for a huge week of tennis at the Edgbaston Priory as the Aegon Classic is about to get underway. 5 of the world's top 10 female tennis players will grace the turf as the grass court season begins. 2-time Grand Slam champion and current world number 1 Angelique Kerber will be hoping to reclaim the title which she clinched in 2015. There'll be no Maria Sharapova, of course, due to injury, and we keep our fingers crossed there'll be no last-minute pullouts, but there's no shortage of quality with the likes of Madison Keys and Johanna Konta present. The Lowdown's George Hancorn caught up with the tournament director Patrick Hughesman ahead of the start of play.
First of all, kind of just summarise what you've been up to over the past few days as we kind of get ever closer to the weekend.
Well, you can probably tell from down here at the Edgbaston Priory Club, it's a hive of activity with a lot of contractors and things being put into place, getting ready for the qualifying, which takes place this coming Saturday. So it's all the finishing touches, the retailers, the caterers. You can tell now that the grass is being cut to 8 millimetres, which is the playing length of the grass for the world's best players. So very busy time, but it's all coming together. I'm really looking forward to the tournament.
And you've got a big, strong team as well behind you of various different roles. Just kind of summarise some of those key bits. You talk about the grounds team as well. Obviously, we've chatted to the ball team, but there's many different roles that kind of take place behind the scenes, aren't there?
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a whole host of teams that are in action. You've mentioned the grounds team. We have quite a large ball crew of about 60, 70 kids. They need a little management team to take care of themselves. Obviously, security is a very important feature for all events these days. So we've got a big security operation in action. You've got all the caterers, a lot of catering team that will be on site during the week. Everything, electricians, plumbers, you name it, we've got it. So we've probably got up to, I don't know, 500 people on site any one time, making sure that everything behind the scenes is working really well for the tournament, because we have got some of the world's very best players coming to this tournament. So you've got the world number one, Angelique Kerber, fantastic to have her in action, but she's going to have a really tough week of tennis ahead of her. She's got Great Britain's top 10 player, Johanna Konta. She's currently ranked 8 in the world. Former Wimbledon champion Petra Kvitova is going to be here as well. Former French Open champion Garbine Muguruza. So there's a whole host of tough fought matches to be had on the centre court and also the outside match courts. Qualifying is this weekend. Great opportunity to come down, get a flavour of what's to come for the main draw. Forecast is really good, so we're expecting some cracking tennis here at the Aegon Classic Birmingham.
Now, this is the thing, of course, when people think about coming out and turning up to events, weather is a big deal, isn't it, for them? But next week is looking fantastic, so it's going to be very exciting. You're hoping for big numbers, large numbers this year.
We're looking for record ticket sales. Our ticket sales are very strong at the moment. I'd urge people to buy their tickets as soon as they can. If they buy tickets ahead of the day, they can save themselves £5. But with the weather forecast looking very favourable for us, we're expecting it's going to be a very popular place to be. What a great day of entertainment for everyone to come down and enjoy themselves. Obviously the tennis, but there's a lot of off-court things to do, the catering, the barbecue area. We've got an Explore Wimbledon, which is all about the idols of women's tennis that's taking place here during the whole tournament. So really is a day of lovely experience for people to come down. Strawberries and cream, Pim's lemonade, all those things that you associate with world-class tennis and the summer events.
It all sounds fantastic. So just remind us how people can come down, those tickets as well.
Best to go, if they Google search Aegon Classic or Aegon Classic Birmingham, that'll come up, and then they can just click on the links and buy tickets from there.
Still to come, after the break, we'll be looking ahead to see what could be making the headlines during the coming week. And Des and Sasha will be telling us what's on around the area. Plus, we'll be taking a look at a very special part of our area. It's Barbeacon, yeah. All that, plus the weather too, when we come back. Welcome back to the Birmingham News Review. Time for a look ahead to what's on next week with Des and Sasha.
This is what's on. Sasha, where are we?
We are at Bistro Pierre, which is on the waterside, and it's a Grade 2 listed building, which used to be the toll house for the canal boats, and it's absolutely stunning, really, really beautiful.
They have some great deals as well. Every Tuesday, Tuesdays fortnights and Wednesdays fortnights, they have great special offers with wine and tasting menus, and just get down. I mean, what a place to eat. Fantastic. Right, here we go. Me first. Do you like gin?
I'm partial to gin, yes.
That's a good start. Did you know that we drink 40, not you and me, as a whole, we drink 40 million bottles of gin a year, which makes over 1 billion gin and tonics.
That's a lot of gin and tonics, isn't it? I probably contribute a bit to it.
I try my best. Well, evidently last week it was National Gin Day, so I thought there's a few places to try out. because it's like gin is in, you know, gin is in.
Gin is in?
Yeah. So if you go down, what used to be the Fiddle and Bone on Sheepcote Street is now called the Distillery. And they actually make their own gin. It's called the Roundhouse Gin.
Wow.
And also on Steelhouse Lane, just down up from the police station, Jekyll and Hyde is open every Thursday, Friday and Saturday. The Gentleman is upstairs and he'll give you a choice of over 100 gins from all around the world.
And a twist on afternoon tea sees gin being served in special cups. I quite like this. This is exciting, something a bit fancy. And the Moseley serve at the Edgbaston and the Hotel du Vin are two that are really, really popular. So if you like gin and fancy cups, that's your place to go.
I like gin. Right, a few music concerts coming up. Now these are interesting. Recently announced Katy Perry is coming to the Barclaycard Arena next year on the 14th of June. Also the Barclaycard Arena this November on Sunday the 19th, synth pop legends Depeche Mode. Do you know who they are?
I don't know who they are.
I thought you wouldn't do.
I know Katy Perry though.
Yeah,
so.
Depeche Mode, their visit as part of their Spirit Tour. And local lad Harry Styles, right, he's from Redditch. I only found out the other day.
I didn't know.
He's recently added a date to his solo tour to include the Genting Arena on Saturday the 7th of April next year. Now, that's a long way away. And the way kids are nowadays, I think, they're very fickle about music, aren't they? You know, are they still going to be, you know, April next year? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
One Direction.
One Direction who?
Exactly. And gig of the week. Now, get the bell ready. This is a tricky one because you've got keyboard maestro Rick Wakeman. He's going to be at the Town Hall on Saturday. Mott the Hoople legend Ian Hunter is going to be at the Symphony Hall on Sunday. But then I thought, Kiefer Sutherland, you know, from 24?
Yeah.
He's got a really, really good voice. I checked him out on YouTube. And he's going to be at the O2 Academy 2 on Wednesday. So, Kiefer Sutherland is my gig of the week. Over to you.
Now for the next in our mini-series of films from Barbeacon in Walsall, which has recently seen the completion of the Raising the Bar project. A Heritage Lottery Fund grant helped to restore the landmark war memorial, as well as other heritage features. It also funded a programme of community involvement with activities ranging from walks and talks to archaeological digs and music festivals. All of these and more will feature throughout the series.
One of the first tasks of Raising the Bar was the restoration of this war memorial, which dates back to 1933 and is made of Portland stone.
The copper that was on the roof, that was unfortunately stolen 3 or 4 times, so it was covered in tarpaulin, so it didn't look in a very good state really. And also the stonework which was worked on was weathered away, so there was like the water would get in there, it'd freeze and it'd break up the stonework. The topograph, which is basically a map centred around Barbeacon, looking around, seeing all the points around that had been stolen and removed, so we're having a new one put in there. It's going to be new railings in there as well, so it looked totally refurbished but still in keeping with the heritage of the building.
The roof is completely rotten on top of the dome. What we're having to do now is strip off all the timber work and replace it section for section exactly how it came off. We have to replace all the structural elements and the fixings to it so that by the time the roof coverings go back on, obviously we put in a robust structure back in place.
As you can see, the timber now is completely shot. These are the original fixings, the bolts, which we're actually cutting off, and we're going to put new stainless steel bolts in there, which their lifespan could be anything up to 100 years.
The main challenge is the roof and choosing a material that wasn't going to be as a target for metal thieves in the future, which was one of the reasons for the choice of VM zinc.
It's important that we are restoring the memorial because it's one of the iconic areas in the West Midlands. It's really high, it's important for local people of Walsall, and also it was built some 80 years ago to remember the people in the First World War, so it's important to remember them, and for current people who use the site and also future generations. We've had a lot of school kids up here doing different projects, so them to respect the area and respect the area for the future. So if it looks that it's well kept, looked after, and people are concerned and feel a lot for the area, and in the future hopefully that will continue.
After 9 months of hard work by various contractors and stonemasons and roofers, we've reached the completion of the actual restoration work of the part of the project, and now we're moving on with the community involvement side. We've actually got a real sort of focus for getting people up here now because they can see the work that's been done so far. The memorial, especially on a day like today, looks absolutely wonderful in the glorious sunshine, almost like a beacon on the hill. And we've had a lot of positive comments from visitors and site users.
I'm very impressed with it. Yes, yeah. We've been up time before and it's really been dilapidated, you know. I heard about all the trouble with the thieves and now it looks very nice.
The roof used to be made of copper, but due to theft and vandalism, through raising the bar, we were able to restore the dome with zinc. It looks just the same, only it's less valuable and, we hope, less tempting to thieves. The metal is also marked with smart water, a special coating that means if someone tries to sell it for scrap, the police will know it's stolen from here. And we've got CCTV covering the site too. Under the dome is this central plinth, featuring plaques commemorating the dedication and rededication of the memorial, and a mounted direction finder or topographic disc. And you can use this and our mobile phone app to help you spot and identify features in the surrounding landscape.
And Marvin will be back with more about Barbeacon at the same time next week. So then, that's all we've got time for on today's Birmingham News Review. I'll be back with you on Saturday and Sunday nights at 6 for the Weekend Magazine, and of course for another Birmingham News Review next Sunday morning at 7. Remember, you can always keep up to date with more news for Birmingham and the West Midlands every weekday at 6 and 8 in the evening. So that's it for now. Stay tuned, the weather's up next, and then after the break, as promised, Carl Jones returns with another big engine debate. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye for now.